just heard you for the first time, I don't know, 4 days ago or something. And I don't normally do this where I suggest somebody play in the class, and I actually didn't hear the two of you rehearse, did I? I almost never do that. It's sort of a rule. But when I heard you, the way that you played was actually exactly like you're playing right now, interacting with the piano. What I mean is when he was by himself with no context of orchestra or piano accompanying him, playing with him, you still breathed in exactly the same way. Your subdivisions and the way you spin a phrase was informed by everything I was hearing in my head of the orchestra part that I know. And so we just went for it, and there you go. You just did it. I expected that to happen, and you really did it. So I'm listening to you, and it really has so many qualities of a professional level soloist playing with piano. And except for just one thing, I think, and I'm not like getting clever here, except for one funny thing, like not wearing the right shoes. No. No, the one thing, no, I like the shoes. I just something weird. But the one thing is actually that I think, here I love your bow division. I love how you think about bow division. I love that like you get to the frog to play pianissimo. I'm not surprised you do that, knowing who you study with and whatnot, but like, just lots of artistry in the way you use your bow. But I never actually got, and I think you'll be able to do it, but the highest points of your playing were not the highest amount of, like the biggest amount of sound, I guess I'm trying to get at, that perhaps a soloist would really go for. The tops to me didn't ever quite go there. And some of you saw me gesturing around. I'm going to help you out a little bit. And this is an important thing for actually everybody to see. When you walk into a hall, there are curtains, usually. And most of us would never think twice about it because curtains look kind of nice. They cover ugly things. I'm about to reveal stuff that probably won't look that good behind it because I didn't prepare it for us properly today. I forgot. But when you go into a hall, look for curtains. It is like having a blanket on top of your violin, which I think none of us want for our sound. We want walls that sound can bounce off of. So, but I have two quick assistants, Finn, Zoe. And already you were ready to go. Come up and help me with this side. We'll do this really fast. If you go into a hall, roll back the curtains. Now, sometimes you can do a test and you can see like what sounds best. I see all the other chairs now. What sounds best? Are they going to pull them all the way? Yeah, good. Zoe, grab the side one too. And so sometimes it actually sounds best depending on what you're trying to do. Maybe chamber music, maybe you don't actually need everything exposed. But more often than not, do you notice my voice has even changed in this hall? Yeah, I think it sounds better. And having been in this hall quite a bit and experiencing that and having learned from my teacher about the halls over at the Colburn School, same thing, except they're operated by fancy machinery that takes the curtains. But look for that type of thing. Every little detail matters. And that's kind of a big detail, actually, because the hall is essentially an extension of your violin, right? It really is. It is part of your instrument. And the better you learn to use it, the more you can tap into a more soloistic sound. Let's go back to the beginning. Really, really beautiful playing. I like that you wait, also. Like, I'm assuming you're a little nervous or something. I wouldn't guess it, but I would assume, this scenario, maybe. But even then, you just waited and you breathed. And you went to the frog when it was quiet. I love that. Let's try some of the beginning. Maybe you could experiment digging in a little bit more. We had a little lesson on sounding point at our last lesson. Maybe you could show some risk taking with that. probably know what I'm going to do. It's actually not bad. It's a little deceptive because it's not as loose as it looks. But I would try. Okay, let's try it. There's definitely a such thing as too tight a bow, for sure. Most of the time I see bows that are not tight enough, but so occasionally I run into one where it's like a Baroque bow, ready to go, ping! And then, what's the rosin situation?
Around this board, I think it's okay.
Play it, put one first finger down, first note. Okay, you hear that? Obviously that's ugly because I'm not vibrating, but can you try to do that except vibrate? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then let's edit it a little bit. So play that just without me in for just a second. Body, body, just first couple notes. Let's hear it with piano. To me it sounds different. Yeah, and then one more thing. With the eighth note, do, 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 can you're good at thinking about bow division. Can you do do, 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 do? Is it do? The obvious thing would be do, do, right? Like 3/4, 1/4, do half and half. And do, maybe it's your fourth finger. Yeah, you've got a great fourth finger, use it. You're obviously vibrating, but what is using your vibrato? What could that mean, maybe?
Maybe like using it to help dance the phrase.
Yes, and use it at the beginnings of notes. You're actually the first sound we're hearing of each note is almost always a slight non-vibrato. It's a nice tone, but it's almost always non-vibrato for about a half a click. Yeah. Okay, so it's out in the open now. Nobody's going to judge. Okay? If we hear a little like, let's do it. And vibrate and block it. passage, there's the melody, right? There's a melody. And so that I think you could fool around with this a little bit more, so it's not such even triplets in terms of da yada 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 yada. So what are the accompaniment? Let's say, what are the? I hate to say throw any notes away, but if you were to throw some notes away, yeah, the probably the low ones, right? And bring out the top even more. Practice it slowly one time. So, and then not much here. Not much on the bottom. Sustain. Yes. Yeah, and that one in particular, when it goes to the whole step, yeah, really reach for that. That was beautiful, and actually, I was kind of convinced by the late vibrato, but I wonder what it would sound like. Da 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 da. Can you try it that way once? Build your phrase. I mean, I'm really convinced. Most of the time I hear this from students, da da da, yeah, little flat on this note, da 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 da, little flat on that note. And or even if they might even check it like against open strings or against the piano, and it's really hard for me to convince them that it has to be higher to actually sound right in a hall. And so I usually try to train them to play the note and then literally play it sharp a little bit. Right over the crest of the real pitch, and you do it that way. That was beautiful pitch, and even like if you've played this piece, you might even really have appreciated that, all those notes, that you're really going up there and being calm, listening, and never being flat on your high notes. I really appreciate it. I think there was one note, high note in your whole movement that was a little bit under. But I really noticed that. I wanted to point it out. Beautiful. I love your colors here also. Can we skip a little bit to yeah, a little bit from the Andante. something, I mean, most people in high school don't have that opportunity very often. Is that something?
I can do it at school pretty often, like maybe a few times a week.
School, like at high school?
Yeah.
Where?
Like I go to boarding school in Connecticut at Cho, so.
Is there like an auditorium?
Yeah.
Is it similar to this or bigger?
It's like bigger.
It's bigger.
It's really big.
So you get to practice and like you go there by yourself sometimes to practice?
Yeah.
Good for you. I have no doubt that that has something to do with the way you are using the bow. I was about to encourage you to do exactly that thing. So, sounds like you're already doing it. I think you should just keep doing that for the rest of your life. Practicing in halls. Go in there, you practice scales in there?
No.
No?
I just go there to play big pieces.
Go in there to play pieces. Practice scales in a hall. Practice your double stops in a hall. Practice an etude in a hall. If you could live in a hall, you're playing. It's funny you're laughing because I say that. That's like such a serious thing, you know? But I think it's why it's funny, you know? But like, live in a hall if you can. And I know sometimes in high school it's tricky. Most scenarios, they don't allow you to do that. But if you have a church or an organization that you're part of, just ask. Sometimes you can get somewhere early, somewhere where you're not even supposed to be playing the violin. You're not there to play a concert or anything, but it's like a big space. I don't know, get there early, bring your violin. You're going to a hotel, they've got ballrooms. I practice in ballrooms all the time at hotels, and they're huge spaces. And I go in there and I, treat it like there's an audience there, and you can gain so much information. And you know what? Do you think playing in a hall more would tend to speed up or slow down your playing generally? Like actual tempos of how you would play. Who says slow down? Raise your hand. Who says speed up? Okay, I agree. The more you play in a hall, the more you learn how much time you have on all the little notes. And do you think that affects your intonation? Yep. If you can spend time on the little notes and listen to how they bounce off the wall and come back to you, that's like a really life-changing thing. So anyway, thank you for playing so beautifully. Thank you, Mi-Eun. Beautiful orchestra.